academic CV, it's kind of like a job resume or application. It should be about 1 to 2 pages. I've seen both from my Saudi students. I've seen one that was a half a page, and I've seen one that was 5 pages. No good. It's just kind of a general rule that it doesn't matter if it's for university or for work, your CV should be no more than 1 to 2 pages. So if you have lots and lots of certificates or lots and lots of programming experience, especially for computer majors, I often see really long CVs because they have so many programming languages and things that they put on there. Try to shorten it up. If it's still too long, then the ones that are old or useless, take them off. Don't have everything on there. So it's got to be no more than 1 or 2 pages. It should be clean. It should have a nice format. Microsoft Word, if you're opening up a new document in Microsoft Word, you'll actually see a function called templates, and you can find resume templates, and you can find graduate school resume templates. So they'll actually give you a layout that you can use for graduate school. And for some specific areas like education, engineering, and so on, they have, or medical for nursing, doctors, they have specific resume styles that they provide you with on Microsoft, so check for those. Make sure you have clear organization. Resumes have to have good chronological, most recent to oldest. Okay? So for example, when you're listing your education, you want to have your university degree first, then you want to have your English schooling, then you want to have your high school. If you're a master's student. If you're a PhD or a doctorate student, you don't include your high school. Okay? There are a lot of little rules with CVs, so it's a good idea to research that. Okay, this point here, please, guys, pay really a lot of special attention to this. Include 3 references. So when you're putting together your CV, include the 3 references. They should not be family. That's a rule of resumes, is you cannot have family as a reference. I've seen a lot of CVs where I see at the very end of the CV references provided on request. Guess what happens to those applications? In the garbage. Absolutely. The graduate department is way too busy to call you up and say, hey, can we get those 3 references from you? Especially when on the website and everywhere else they say include your references. So you got to include your references. Please do not hand in applications for graduate school that say on request. Okay, that's just not going to work. Your 3 references should have all the contact information if possible. I know that a lot of your professors in Saudi Arabia move around between Egypt and other countries as well, so it's tough to get their phone numbers, but if you can get their phone numbers, it's really a good idea, okay? Email is great, but you want to have phone number and as full contact information as possible. References should include who the person is, what the person's connection is to you. So was my professor for 2 years or whatever, was my manager, boss, department director, and their contact information very clearly, okay? Oh, and this is a very important rule here, is you should not have information in your CV and in your statement of purpose that overlap. Okay, that's general rule 2. So if you have some information listed in your CV, then you shouldn't re-list that information in your statement of purpose or talk about it in great detail. It's okay if there's a small reference to a piece of information, but you don't want to have information crossing over between the 2 documents. So information that's on the CV should not be in the statement of purpose. Information that's in the statement of purpose should not be in the CV. Okay? So they should be kept separate. Again, same thing as with the statement of purpose. Once you've done your CV, get help with it, check it, clean it, make it perfect, okay? Do not hand in a first draft CV. Not a good idea. Alright, then after application, so what next? When you find your university and hopefully you get accepted and everything is looking honky-dory and great and fun, you want to go to your university as soon as possible. So some students are like, well, I don't want to leave Victoria because it's nice and warm and sunny and that place is really cold, so I'll go there just before I start my graduate school. Not a good idea, guys. Again, remember, Canada's a huge country. There's culture shock, and that takes a lot of energy and attention and focus. So as soon as you get accepted by a university, you know it's good. You've got to get there early, get comfortable with your living environment. Canadian universities offer a lot of help to graduate students that are accepted, so make sure you check into what is available for you. Often they include housing or someone who will help you find a house, etc., etc. I know your cultural bureau helps you a lot with this, but the Canadian universities also help a lot for graduate students. They know they have families, they know they have a lot of extra needs and so on. So get help from both, not just your cultural bureau, okay? So get used to the culture. This is something you should start doing right now as well. So if you're a computer science major, if you're a child education major, French major, whatever, start reading on your subject in English. So you're probably very familiar with it in Arabic, because that's what you did for 4 years in your undergraduate. Don't wait till the last minute to start reading journals. Even though English journals are going to be very tough to read in the beginning, don't wait until the 1 month before you start your master's to start reading about your topic in English. Start reading about it now. It'll help you learn your English, but you've got to be familiar with the terms, the vocabulary, and so on that's used in your field. And you want to start doing that right away. So get familiar with your subject and read about your supervisors. So especially if you know who your supervisors are that you might have, start downloading their research articles and their research materials and start reading those and translate the words and get familiar with that material as soon as possible. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to be in a very tricky situation if your supervisor is talking to you about something and you're kind of like, eh? You don't want to be that guy. Even go so far as start planning some ideas for your thesis. So if you're going to be in a master's where you need to come up with a thesis project, which is basically your main project that you're going to specialize in, that your supervisor will guide you with, start thinking about it, start planning it. I know for Majid, is it okay if I use this Majid? So Majid, so Majid, I won't forget because he got me to help him a bit with his application process, and Majid did an excellent undergraduate report or research in English in Saudi Arabia. I remember it was like a 12-page or more, 20-page, 40-page big research project. What was the topic? Data networking or something? But it was excellent, and I think that really helped him to get into his major, and he knew kind of what his thesis or what his direction was very, very clearly. So for sure that was a big advantage for Majid, and you should do the same. So be specific, start thinking about exact research that you want to do. Look at what's popular in your field. So look at what kind of popular research professors are doing in your area and try to think about those as possible options for your thesis. Is everybody clear on what a thesis is?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, and that's the end of this short little presentation. So now I want to give you a chance to ask me some questions. Does anybody have any questions on this topic? Yes?
How I can apply for this university or ask a professor before I get IELTS?
Send an email. Contact the office. You don't need to have the IELTS. You can contact them and say, sorry, what's your name? Fahad. So you can write the advising office a short email. Say, I'm Fahad, I'm in Victoria, Canada, I'm planning to do my master's in networking and computer sciences. Please let me know which supervisors are available from January at your university. Best regards, contact information, Fahad, full name, away you go. And they'll send you back an email. They're not going to ask you about the IELTS right away. They don't need your IELTS score to do this. You can just send this to them and they'll reply to you. They'll say, okay, Fahad, our available supervisors are professors so, so, and so, right? And you basically make a database for yourself of all the universities and all the supervisors. And you start researching. Like I say, the IELTS, often you don't need it till a week before you get into your master's. So as long as the rest of your application looks good, many universities are not going to ask you for an IELTS right away. And if they say, do you have your IELTS score yet? Then you can write back, no, I don't have it. I'm scheduled to do the exam in June. Please let me know what the available supervisors are so that I can start planning for that. And I promise you, they'll write something back. They'll say, okay, we'll wait for your IELTS score, but until then, here are the available supervisors. You can say, I want to read about these professors. I want to read about what they do. Right? So, for sure. Any other questions? Anyone from this side have any questions on the grad application process or anything connected with graduate school? No, you guys are pretty good. Sure. All right, well, if you have any more questions, feel free to email me. I'll email you back as time allows, and I'll try to help you out. So, like I say, I've traveled the world. I know it can be tough to be in another country, language, so just email me, let me know, and I'll do my best, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, guys, before leaving, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And it's hard to spend 5 hours in the weekend talking. It's really hard, and we appreciate the time and the effort that you present for the Saudi community here in Victoria. So thank you. And thank you guys for coming and sharing one of the Saudi club activity. It's like our pleasure to serve you. And we have like our email, our website. If you have any comments, if you would like to have like any presentation or any workshop, email us and we'll try to do whatever we can do. Thank you guys, and appreciate your time. Enjoy your weekend.
And thanks guys for having me. I enjoyed, I know it's a Saturday, but I enjoyed being here and talking to all of you. And I really do wish you all the best in your studies. You're the great brains of tomorrow, and hopefully good things will happen in the future from that. So I really wish you all the best of luck in your graduate school and in your future studies. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.